Hey guys, Zarbix here with another video for Warhammer Online Return of Reckoning, the Age of Reckoning private server. Back to the old tutorials, this one on Ranked. So I wanted to make a video about this for a long time, but the mode has had a lot of troubles along the way. It's reached a really good point right now, and I think we're on the cusp of getting Season 2 starting. So I thought it'd be a good time to make a video and kind of explain to the people who may be looking at this game, thinking about coming back, and want a more competitive way of playing. So let's dive right in. So basically, Ranked is a form of scenario just like the regular ones, but it's more deathmatch. So it is a 6v6 fight, one team versus the other, Destro versus Order. It'll have a matchmaking involved where you will always have 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 heals. So you don't have to worry about any matches where you have all DPS or all tanks. It'll always find 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 heals. The preference for the matchmaking will always find, 1 range and 1 melee DPS first. It'll always look for that. If you can't find it, then you might have matches where you have 2 melee or 2 ranged. But you'll never get into a situation where you're going to have 2 melee versus 2 ranged, or 2 melee versus 1 ranged and 1 melee. It'll always try to balance it out to give you the best chance of having an equivalent match. Not all classes are created equal for Ranked, but that's a discussion, a topic for another video. The way you queue up for it is just like a regular scenario. You go into your scenario lobby window, and you just kind of go through, and you should find Ranked in there. There are currently, I think, 6 maps involved. That it randomizes through. You can get a map of Calder Woods, Temple of Isha. I don't know if that one's in the rotation right now. Maw of Madness, Reichland Hills. Am I missing any? Morking Temple was in there for a while, but I think that one's gone now. And a few others as well. So Dragon's Bane. So a lot of different maps for some variety. Some are better for range, some are better for casters, some you can kite, some are really close quarters. So you get a good mix of different maps when you queue up for it. As you get into the queue, you can get an add-on that'll show you how many people are in here. You can see in the top right corner. So this shows me right now that there are 2 tanks, 3 DPS, 3 heals on Destro's side, 1 game in progress, but 0 on Order. So 1 game going right now. Order needs to be in the queue. And also keep track of your win ratio, how many matches that you've done. You can see I've done quite a lot. And your MMR. So as you do these matches, you'll get a matchmaking rating depending on your win to loss ratio. You start at 0, but it's really 1500. And as you do your first couple matches, it'll try to place you within a bracket. The first matches count for more, so you can bounce up and down between 1200 or 1900 until you kind of find your room, like find your place. And then as you queue up, it'll look at your matchmaking rating at least a little bit to try to predetermine matches. It'll hopefully try to find people within a small bracket, but if there's not enough people in the queue, it'll expand that until it can fill out a match. So you hope that you get matches where you're within like a 50, 100 point window, but you can get matches where as a 1300 MMR player, you're fighting a 1700, and usually it's not the only indication on if you're going to get a good match, but it definitely is a indication of how that fight is going to go. So now you've queued up for the ranked matches, you got your matches, you're fighting. The point of the matches are to beat the other team, get to 500 points, and win. The way you can do this is there are 2 main ways. The first way, the real way, is by getting kills. Every kill that you get in a ranked match will give 50 points. So if you can get enough kills to get 10 kills, 500 points, you will win the match. If you end the match 0-0, it's a tie. If you end the match 100-100, it's also a tie, but you get slightly more rewards. The goal is to get the kills, protect your team, and win the match. Keep in mind that there's also a flag in the middle of the scenario. The flag is there so that if the other team decides to turtle or stay in their spawn, you can end the match. They have to come to the middle. They have to fight. It takes 50 seconds to click on the flag and capture it to win the match. It's a long time. So you really are never trying to capture it in the middle of a fight. It's a last resort if the other team isn't fighting or you've beaten them already and they've given up. You want to click on that flag. Also keep in mind each match lasts 10 minutes, so it's a while. It can be a while. If you win the match too quickly, if you dominate them super hard within a few minutes, you get less rewards. So you always kind of want to play out the match a little bit and at least get to about the 6-minute mark before you either capture the flag or get your last few kills to maximize your rewards. That's pretty much a good overview of the way it works, but we can go into the rewards for it. That's what most people will probably care about. It's why most people will probably queue up for this mode to begin with. So there are a couple things you can get as you do a match. you get rewarded with triumphant emblems. That's a new currency that is created for ranked, and you only get them from ranked. If you get 20 triumphant emblems for a win, you get 5 for a loss, and a tie will give you 10. As well as you'll also get oppressor emblems, so the previous tier. So you do get rewarded with oppressor for doing this. You probably already have that stuff, but it doesn't hurt to buy potions with, or maybe fill out a few missing items that you're lacking. You'll also get 10 of those for a win, and I think 3 of those for a loss. There's also a quest you can get in the scenario. You can turn that in for even more oppressor and some extra coin. Another point is there's also 2 new gear sets that come with ranked. Triumphant and Victorious. So they are an upgraded version of Vanquisher and Oppressor. So they're really good. They're a little bit above Invader, below Sovereign and Warlord. So a pretty strong set, and for some classes actually, best in slot for a few pieces. Most will do something like I'm doing on my character, where you end up running, 2 or 3 pieces. And then mix it with Sovereign. So even if you're endgame gear, there's still a reason to do this. And if you're lower gear, there's a reason to do it, because it's an amazing set that can hold you up for a very long time. Some classes, like maybe the White Lion, Zealot, like some of those classes can do extremely well just running full Triumphant or Victorious gear. Victorious gear is usually your off spec, and then Triumphant gear is your main spec. So Triumphant for a healer would be heal spec, and Victorious would be their DPS spec. As your MMR goes up and down, the cost total of the pieces goes up and down as well. So you want to buy your pieces when you're at a higher MMR, and you probably don't want to buy them if you're at a low MMR, because the cost will go up. Even losing a couple points can increase the total amount that you need by even on one piece by 5 to 10. So it's a little, you want to buy them when you can. It is expensive. You'll need to do a lot of matches to get your medallions or emblems, but the gear is worth it, and it's a lot of fun to play the mode as well. Another factor to keep in mind for ranked is that once you do a certain amount of matches per week, it's 5. You'll also get more mail to you. I actually should probably have some in the mail right now, given that it is Monday. So as we run there to the mailbox to see how many we got for the last week, we'll keep going. So at least if you do 5 matches, even if you lose those 5 matches, you'll get awarded some in the mail. So it can be a little bit disheartening to do 5 matches, get 5 losses, and only walk away with 25 triumphant emblems and also increase costs, but it should be made up for the fact that you get some at the end of the week. So if we go, here we go, see it's in my mail right here, solo ranked weekly token reward. So last week I did 13 matches and I got awarded 266 emblems. So, if I had lost all those 13, I don't think I did, but if I did, that would have only been 65, but getting this extra 266 kind of makes up for that. The last bonus or benefit that you get, aside from a lot of renown and experience as well, is you get Triumphant Medal of Insight. So it's an event slot item that lasts for 3 days. It is currently the best in slot for that event slot by a wide margin. The other ones you can get, the other items you can get from this, from either weekly scenario rewards or events in game, are half as good at best. So by getting this, you can get an extra 26 stat points and an extra 1% crit over anything else. It's pretty sought after. It's about 90 or so, 95, 100 triumphant emblems to obtain. And it sounds like a lot, but if you do a few matches, get the reward, you can definitely, over the course of a week, get enough to last you that week or longer. The last thing is the requirement to get into rank scenarios. You have to be level 40, and you have to have at least had the unlock for Conqueror set, Dominator set, or Sentinel set. This is just to make sure that you're gonna have an equivalent gear to be able to compete in there. Fair warning that a lot of the people queuing up for ranked are in a similar gear state to me, which is high end gear. This is almost best in slot for the Bright Wizard in a lot of ways. Fighting in that in Conqueror gear as a new 40 is going to be very, very rough. I would steer clear until you at least have, full Vanquisher, Bloodlord, Oppressor. That's a minimum. And for some classes, for some DPS classes, you might even want higher than that. But it's a great mode. Season 1 has ended. Season 2, we're in pre-season 2 right now. It might come as soon as Wednesday, and we're hoping for even more rewards once that begins. Maybe some new accessories, best-in-slot accessories and weapons. So there's a lot to look forward to, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a good break from open RVR, bigger fights, cities. It comes down to personal player skill, some RNG and luck as well with who you get teamed up with and who you're against, but it's a good time, and I recommend everyone give it a shot. You don't know, maybe you'll enjoy it. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to post them down below in the comments, or any ideas for future videos. And maybe the next one we'll do will be a tier list for ranked and other modes of the game. So thanks a lot, guys. Take care.